Week 14, stardom, sit-em, DST. I got you guys covered for a couple of defenses who should be starting. And I know 6 teams are on bye, but I got 2 defenses you should get your expectations in order and probably look for other options. So let's get right into the episode. Bears, 49ers, give me the Bears in starting lineups this week as a safe play where my expectations are 10 points or more. The 49ers in the last 4 games have not been a huge threat. They've been averaging 15 points per game, which is 31st in the NFL in that time span. They also just lost Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason. Isaiah Guerrero is a threat on the ground because you can run on this Bears defense. But look, even though they get some yards on the ground, this is a defense that you cannot really pass the ball on. They're a top 10 pass defense. They're also the best red zone defense in the NFL right now, where even if you do get these scoring opportunities out of nowhere with these 49ers, I really don't think that the 49ers are going to light it up against the Bears. So this is a safe play where I expect this secondary to maybe get some turnovers because, again, the 49ers, they had 10 fumbles in the last 4 games. These are opportunities that the Bears could probably jump on and create some scoring points, and I absolutely think the Bears are available to you on the waiver wire right now, so go pick them up and put them in the starting lineups for Week 14. Bills versus Rams. Give me the Bills in starting lineups. They are highly favored. They may not be on your waiver wire, but if you do got them stashed, you could put them in the starting lineups against my Rams as I wear the Super Bowl hoodie, and I say this, but the Rams have shown improvement on third down in the red zone. That is great that they were able to come out of the New Orleans with a win, but going against this Bills defense, it's going to be tough to have those improvements show up and show out in Week 14 because the strengths of this defense for the Bills is third down and in the red zone. So I'm expecting that O-line to be challenged as well with the Bills getting after the quarterback, having some QB pressures. And right now, I think this might be a huge test for this Rams offense, and I'm not sure if they're completely ready for it because this Bills defense, they're going to be coming after Matthew Stafford, challenging that old line. So I'm expecting some takeaways and some turnovers that are going to happen because of the QB pressure. So therefore, the Bills, they're a great play this week to have the expectations above 10 fantasy points. Now, this might sound crazy. Please let me fly this plane and we landed safely. Now, the Cowboys, back-to-back games with 17-plus fantasy points, and I understand they're going against the Bengals, where Joe Burrow has been lighting it up, throwing up a ton of touchdowns and a ton of yards, but I understand, but there's still opportunity here where the Bengals, they're allowing the second most yards per punt, people. Yards per punt. I'm talking about ST and the DST and special teams because this Cowboys defense is real, man. This Cowboys special teams is real, man. Since Micah Parsons has returned in Week 8, this defense has been showing up and showing out, leading the league in QB pressures, and I think this is where Joe Burrow will be challenged inside and outside of that pocket, where there could be some turnovers here with this secondary, who are top 5 in the NFL right now since Micah Parsons has returned. So you get the pressure, which create turnovers, and I like the upside here with the special teams on punt return and maybe even kick return with Kevontae Turbin, I should say, my bad, but I definitely think the Cowboys could be a sneaky play this week as a sleeper where expectations are, I would say, 10 points. 10 points, 9 points, 8 points maybe, but still, I think they're a good play this week. We got 6 teams on bye, people. We got to figure something out, and I don't want to put the obvious teams in here. You're obviously starting the Eagles, the Vikings, the Packers. You already know this, so this video is based on teams that aren't very highly available to you or guys that can come in and help out with the bye week. So Cowboys, they get to start. Now to get into my fades for Week 14. Now, expectations need to be in check with these 2 defenses. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and put up donuts. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and allow 30-plus points, but this is where you want to have the right decisions with the playoffs staring at you right in the face. Right now, the Buccaneers versus the Raiders, I'm not liking that matchup because the Bucs, this could be a trap game for them for DST for fantasy. I look at the Raiders, their newfound Sincere McCormick out of that backfield, and listen, the Raiders just put up the second most rushing yards against the Chiefs, where you know this is a defense you cannot run on. I get it's a division game, but they might have found a new spark where you can run on this Bucs defense. And not to mention, man, this Bucs defense, they're allowing the 6th most red zone drives, 53% in the red zone. So they're allowing too many opportunities and too many touchdowns when it gets to that red zone. And the Raiders could definitely find their way going down there. They surprised us many of times this season. I mean, look, they beat the Ravens. I mean, honestly, this might be the first game this season that they put up 30 points. I know I just said I don't think any of these teams are going to put up 30 points and get blown out, but I think this could be a matchup that feels like a trap where my expectations are going to be less than 10 points, and that's not what I want in starting lineups. Now, next up, I will be fading the Steelers this week where my expectations aren't as high as they would usually be because you have Jameis Winston on the other side of that ball that has been crazy aggressive of going downfield, throwing past the sticks, getting a lot of yards out of his wide receivers because we just saw what Jerry Jeudy did. And going up against the Steelers secondary, I do not trust, being that they're worse rated as per PFF in coverage grade since their bye week. So therefore, they're giving up a ton of big plays, a ton of yards, and I do not want Jameis Winston being the guy to put my Steelers DST to bed this week with the playoffs right around the corner. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and make sure you guys leave a comment below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms and Blue Sky. Until next time.